Greetings everyone, this is Lodrik. This is our game War in the Pacific Advanced Edition in our game against Dojo. Today we will watch the combat animation of 15th February 1942, and this is now a little longer special episodes. Every 2 weeks I will make a longer episode to explain a little more background information and check the tracker. So last time was I think 1st of February, now 15th February, then next time is 1st March, and so on and so on. Good, let's dive in and see how our operation near Bombay play out, if we find something or not, or only shitty mini cargo ships like most of the time, and what else around the Pacific happens. So let's see. Maybe we get action, maybe just so action. Okay, one base just changed the owner, and there's a second base. There's the British forces, I think we kicked out of Cebu. They just arriving at a small base we captured some turns before, but it's not really important, there's nothing. Dojo forces just come out of the jungle, take the base, and then I will simply make a counter strike and drive them back in the jungles. And sooner or later we maybe must get rid of them. This is his invasion support stuff, because we bring the second Navy Guard units here to take the base. I hope 2 units are simply enough to win this battle. This is west of Perth. We have here I think 2-3 submarines in position, and we find one of these standard cargo ships. I think this looks not big. This looks maybe like 5 or 6 point cargo ship. One torpedo hit, maybe it's enough. Yeah, we get the feedback. Something sunk just now, so I guess it was this cargo ship. Yeah, we take this base again. It's also, for some reason, Dojo's local forces have the ability to turn our bases back to Australia. So it costs us a little time, but it's not really a big issue. Okay. Looks like Dojo have some submarine hunter group here. Or it's only a cargo convoy. At the end, nothing. No, it looks like really a sub hunter. Looks like. Scouting. I think there are still some bases, maybe some American scout airplanes operate there. Bad weather here. Okay. Bombardment in China, like usually. This is now open terrain, so normally we'll have higher kills. Yeah, we can see this looks good. This is also fine. No airplane gets damaged, so not bad. You can see the Dojo's forces starting to leave the mountains, so maybe next turn or next turn I think they are all out of the mountains. So I'm not more sure if we can really catch up with them. We will see in 2-3 turns. Maybe they just slip away, or in the last moment we can catch them and force them to retreat. The very standard turn so far. Japanese Air Force totally dominates the skies of China, and Dojo not even try to do something wrong. Maybe he already give up, at least in the air war of China. Okay. It looks like that Dojo used some Dutch, I think these are now more or less all Dutch bombers to attack our Navy Guard units. They just landed here before and took the base. And yeah, it means also that even so they are maybe not great for anti-navy bombardment, but they are good for, I think, for ground attack. So we get a lot of disabled units, not really much destroyed, but the problem is that they simply have no air base can cover this. Only with super long range air cover, but this means you send more or less 20 airplanes out and then there's only one airplane in the skies. So I just must wait one turn. Next turn I already get interceptors here. So I have to accept this losses and hope that they are not critical. I mean, damage is still only disabled. This is still no big issue. It only needs time. These units are, the main purpose of this Navy Guard units was only to take this base and maybe the hexes next to it. So the best case is we can take this base and this base. So we cut Java completely in 2 pieces. But even if this is not possible, in 2-3 turns our big army will arrive. First the fighters to make sure that there's no additional bomber attacks. After this our army will land. And then it's a matter of 1 or 2 weeks to conquer all of Java. So far looks like nothing happened with our second carrier fleet, but maybe now in the afternoon. Scouting. We have here some scouting. This is, I think, from our battleships. So here now we get information from a bomb bay. So there was some fleet. At least one fleet is in the area of Bombay. Okay, we're sweeping Bombay and there's nothing. I hope that I can find some enemy fighters with low skills and easy kills, but Nothing. Okay, now our port strike happened. Oh yeah, you can see it's a port strike because you see the port. And you can see there's some flag. We get some bomb hits. I think this is at the end this will be a very long battle report here. So I think we can skip this and see what really happens at the end. At the end this is a port strike or city strike. We can see at least we hit something. Okay. We have here roughly, you can say now, yeah, maybe 180 bomber, and we lost some for flak, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and maybe some more will get damaged. But here was a lot of cargo ships. And normally heavy fires, heavy damage is to 90% always a kill. Yeah, we are here now a port, so the chance to survive is higher. But we have here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 ships, mostly normally all cargo ships. One Kiwi is always good, a corvette. Corvettes are simply very good submarine hunters. So if we kill now 8 cargo ships and what looks also 1 destroyer gets heavy damage, this is a submarine tender, but nothing really damage, only on fire. So on fire I think is no big issue for a port, because I think the port equipment have a lot of firefighting. So you must have at least the combination heavy fires and heavy damage. Because then normally the heavy fires needs 1 or 2 turns to finish, and at the same time the fire is still active, the damage will increase, and if it's already heavy damage then the chance that it sinks is high. Especially because these are only cargo ships, these are not really battleships, they have more resistance. These are all civilian cargo, troop transport and all this stuff, so they simply sink much easier. And 6 casualties. Of course we also make some port hits and repair shipyard hits. Oh, not bad. I mean, yeah, you can now discuss if this is a good strike. I mean, 180 bombers can maybe kill 8, let's say 8 cargo ships. If every cargo ship is at least 5 points and we make some damage, not crazy but not bad. I think the points losses are not so important here. It's more like the hit on Dojo's feeling of security. So if we can attack Bombay and kill so many cargo ships or destroy or damage, then he have simply a fear in the future that he cannot run easily cargo ships, so he will maybe avoid Bombay and even go back to Karachi. And yeah, so maybe not the big tactical win, but more strategic and a morale boost for the Japanese. And if we are lucky, we maybe can make a second attack and kill a little more stuff here. We'll see. Okay, we get some information that at least 1 ship just sunk and it was not the Japanese. So I think some of this port hit just gets killed. Okay, this is now one of these cleanup operations, one of this of Dojo's long time destroyed and broken armies. I don't know where they come from. It's too long time ago, but we simply intercept them. I mean, they are only walking shell. There's no real fighting power more. But they still don't want to give up, so they're running away again. They're running to the source. Oh yeah, it's easy for us, so we can drive our tank forces simply in. I think one turn already is enough to catch them again. So you can see 319 attack value against 79. And we only have 2 disabled, and Dojo lost again. You can see most are destroyed. There is nothing more to disable, because most of the units are already disabled. And yeah. I don't know how much is left now, but at least 4,000 guys less than before. And this other 2 broken units we catch. And they maybe give up. Yeah, okay. Here you can see this is really only. Even here we have 2 disabled units somehow. But these units are now completely both destroyed. So cleanup operation in the west was successful. Cleanup in the east was. Yeah. I mean, I don't say it was a failure, but still not complete. And one of these mountain units, 2. Yeah, all of this Chinese forces simply, I think they don't have much supplies, and there's nothing really left. At least here you can see the battle was more even, and we had a little more disabled, but again, Dojo's suffering is compared to our little losses completely other world. This is now the Battle of Cebu. Like I said before, Cebu city is for making fun vacation. If you want to have more quiet and diving vacation and enjoy real tropical area, you better go to the north. There you can find more peace. Just so, not success, but maybe next attack. And after many failed attempts, maybe we can get it now. Yeah, okay. Just barely, but we did it. I don't know, I think 3 or 4 battles we had here. All very small battles, but now we finally take the place. Very light losses, and now these units are simply now broken. And these are Dutch forces. I think they, even once broken, similar to the Chinese, they have no way to reorganize more. Here is nothing, so we can take the base for free. And also this is a base force kicked out of Porta Princesa, and they give up. Good. So we can also say now this island is also now fully free of any jungle fighters, partisans or whatever, so that we can take out our forces and jump to the next island. Yeah, here we was a little unlucky. We can see now we have, I think, enough forces normally to attack. Our values are now over double. Maybe it's still, I think, rough and mountain, so we normally triple the amount. We only have double. You will see. I hope simply that we maybe can break them. They are only Dutch, so they cannot normally turn something around if once it gets if they once gets defeated, it's over for them. Okay. So not really too much happened. Yes, the attack on Bombay was not bad, but also not super crazy important. We kill also no units, no air frames, I think. So we only kill cargo ships, and maybe a corvette. Ah, the lovely Dutch subs. They're still here. Somehow. Yeah. Okay. I don't know if I saw this sub before, maybe, but I cannot remember these names. But this sub looks like now can return. Back to any Dutch harbor to repair, and maybe 1 or 2 weeks later we see him again. And this is now one of our submarines, the submarine blockade of Port Moresby, and there is a typical Dojo light cargo ship, 1.2 point stuff with maybe maximum 1000 supplies, and he tried to arrive in Port Moresby. And our submarine simply won't use the deck gun. The captain of the submarine simply make a calculation. If he think the ship he can attack is worth the value of a torpedo, and he use only the heavy machine gun. This 13.2mm is normally an anti-aircraft gun, and it's a heavy machine gun more or less. I don't know if you really can sink a cargo ship with a heavy machine gun. I don't know. Anyway, this looks like a... But we are low on ammunition, so we can hit him all the time we want, but I think this the guns simply don't really damage the ship. But we had some activity in action. Okay, now we can see that the ship hit, but no explosion. Sometimes we have this, but not very often. I don't know, I still think that a Japanese torpedo have the chance to explode is at least 90%, maybe even more. But it's not that 100% of all torpedoes will explode. I think really only 90-95%. And in this case, it was not successful. I'm not really sure if this really have a big impact. Okay, our scouts are reporting 10 ships in Bombay and more ships. So I use for this carrier fleet now really only our patrol scout planes from the battleships, from the cruisers, and for all this stuff. I don't use more the carrier strike forces for this, to simply have more firepower. Because a patrol scout plane only can scout, so I let him scout. And a torpedo bomber, dive bomber can also scout, but in this case I say no. And again, no fighter up. And also nothing in China. And now, no. Bombay have no air defense. A little strange, I would say, but okay. So this is our second attempt, and now we're making a navy strike, not a port strike. Oh, look at this. Ooh, and we make a bomb hit. Ooh. Okay, but we also saw something like our dive bomber make a 250 kilogram bomb hit on the British carrier, but the bomb cannot penetrate the deck armor because the British carriers, they have strong deck armor, so they are more or less immune against 250 kilogram bombs. I think everything smaller than 250 or included a 250 kilogram bomb will not really make big damage. And here is also a battleship, but we can also see again deck armor hit, nothing happens. Hit, but it cannot penetrate the belt armor. So we make some surface damage. You can see a little fire maybe, but it's really not really make big damage. Like one hit, one or two damage points like this. But I don't think much more. And our torpedo bombers gets killed. No. Oh, so British ships have normally one of the best anti-aircraft power, but okay, a torpedo hit is always nice because I think there's nothing really can survive torpedo attacks in the long run. So we have at least one torpedo hit on the carrier, and this will really hurt the ship. Okay, this is now only a cargo ship. This is of course a critical damage because the cargo ship don't have any armor. Nothing. Here you can see that some of our torpedo bombers, they don't really carry torpedoes because there are simply a limitation of torpedoes a carrier can take. And if you have more torpedo bombers than torpedoes, then the game simply say, okay, this airplane load bombs. 250 kilogram, again flight deck hit. Yeah, but no real damage. We simply don't find the spot our bombs can penetrate the deck armor. Not the most successful strike, but at least, I mean, one torpedo hit on the carrier is still a torpedo hit on the carrier. And I think one torpedo hit at least means normally 2 weeks, up to 4 weeks in the shipyard. And again, the only problem is really this is automatic. Normally I would say the dive bombers attack everything but not carriers and not battleships. And all torpedoes bombers attack only carriers and battleships, but this is simply no way that you can choose. Oh, we make a torpedo hit on the battleship. That is also good. And the second torpedo. And the third. Ooh. I would normally say a battleship can normally maybe handle 4 torpedo hits. I think at that point it gets really critical for a battleship to survive this. Yeah, they are still in Bombay, there's a big port, there's a shipyard. So, but 3 torpedoes is already, I think, very close to the maximum. Ooh! Second torpedo hit for the carrier. And the third torpedo hit. Oh, I would also say this is now very close to the point that the ship will not more survive. 3, I think, is really hard already. Oh, this is now number 4. And this is number, I think already number 5. Oh, I think this is, but this ship is still not sinking, so... Okay, a light cruiser, but this looks like a really small light cruiser. Maybe 5,000, 6,000 tons. Not one of this next generation. This is a heavy cruiser, but no hit. No. Okay. One of the 6-inch guns just gets destroyed. Here you can see the deck armor of the light cruiser is simply not enough to stop a 250 kilo bomb. But okay. Torpedo for light cruiser is normally the maximum. And I think this ship already had a bomb hit, so maybe it's also dead. Yeah. But we also see that we have losses. It's not that so this British flag is really good. And okay. Torpedo hit for the heavy cruiser. More hits on the light cruiser. Okay, so we can see now that the carrier sinks, the battleship sinks, so only 2 ships sink. Okay, that means not only. So we lost, I think it was a little more, but okay, but we have 21 damaged torpedo bombers here. We have a lot of damaged machines and also some destroyed, so, and I think maybe a quarter of this damage also will get killed. But we get the information, and we saw it in the text, that we sunk the enemy carrier and the battleship. Okay. And we also have heavy damage, oh no, only heavy fires, but I think this is also... And we have heavy damage on 1 light cruiser. Yeah. I would say now we kill the cargo ships, and if we really think so now just one of these top British carriers, and I mean the battleship is old. This is normally this kind of battleships are not more so useful, but the carrier is important to kill. And maybe we also damage some of these light cruisers. I mean, we don't kill them, but we damage them. So need at least 1 month or so, maybe to fix all this damage. That is okay, and we can see that he is also destroyed the air forces. So at least some of, I don't know if this is really all of his air force. Looks so small, so I'm a little strange if the carrier sunk and then only 11 airplanes destroyed. A little strange. Okay. Bombing in China. Yeah. A lot of damaged airplanes and not really much effect. Oh, here comes Dojo's Dutch army bombers again. More disabled. In one turn he really... I mean, he not really... He killed, but he disabled a lot of our units. I'm lucky. Well, a little unlucky. Normally I try to bring you some fighters already a turn before, but it was simply not possible. Yeah. Oh, and some B-17 bombers. Here we have some oil factories, but we get attack on... Don't tell me exactly what he tried to attack. Port attack. Okay. Okay, now the afternoon. Okay, one more hit. Okay, we make a second Navy strike. Okay. So we try to finish off what we start before. I only don't know if we have any torpedoes left. But at least we kill one... we had not kill, but a hit on a light cruiser again. A second hit already. Ooh. Oh. A local minesweeper. From all the ships, they try to attack the local minesweeper. Okay, our dive bombers are normally successful. I mean, they have a very high chance to hit if they're diving, but we just saw the dive bombers simply, they have no chance to really hurt a carrier battleship. It's simply not possible for them. And even also with heavy cruisers, they don't really make so much damage against this stuff. We have a hit and we kill the torpedo mod, okay? But it's the surface damage. So we can see it hits the armor and then it cannot penetrate the armor. And the torpedo bomber is failing. And here with these torpedo bombers, they don't have torpedoes more left, so they're using also 250 kilogram bombs. This is their backup setup. No torpedoes, then they use two 250 kilo bombs. So you can see they all have no torpedoes more. And again, okay, this time we make a penetration and we make a critical hit. So this was now a real damage hit, or not only a surface hit. Oh. This is Destroyer Escort, so I think a Destroyer Escort is simply bigger than a corvette, but still smaller than a destroyer. One more hit. Critical damage. And the second. But this time cannot penetrate. Belt armor hit, but no penetration. Double hit. Both penetrations. So maybe we can kill this heavy cruiser. 2 more hits. 3 more hits. And not only hit, also to penetration. But this last one is not. The last one bounces off. I don't know, now we have really a lot of hits on this heavy cruiser. But yeah, the bombs they simply don't really make so much damage. For a light cruiser, I think light cruisers normally have no armor. Ooh, this is a lot of hits in short time. I would say this attack on Bombay is maybe a real success now. I mean, we killed some cargo ships. It was not the most important stuff, but then we sunk a carrier and a battleship, and now we really damaging. Maybe we're not sinking, but we damage a lot of his light and heavy cruisers. And this time we had also less damage and no losses. Again, we had here still, let's say, 120 bombers. Now we have the heavy cruisers. I think is more or less dead. Heavy damage, heavy fire. On fire, heavy damage. Maybe also dead. Light cruiser. Here one more light cruiser. Heavy damage, heavy fire. One more heavy cruiser, heavy light. So normally I would say 2 heavy cruisers and 2 light cruisers are dead. That is again also maybe 100 points. Yeah. So 1 battleship, 1 carrier, 2 heavy cruisers, 2 light cruisers. Maybe 5 to 6 cargo ships for this high risk, long range attack on Bombay. Yeah, this was successful. The only problem is now we must try to escape. I don't know what else Dojo have here nearby. And I think that our forces are simply very low on fuel. And maybe also no torpedoes left. So if we now have engagement with enemy battleships, then we will run into a problem. So we really better return now. I don't think it makes sense to stay there much longer. It's simply a very high risk, especially because we have simply no fuel left. If we have now engagement, we will burn more fuel, and this is okay. Now we also capture Cebu, and they surrender. Oh, even better. So no fighting in the jungles. That is easy. That is good. And we kill even some airplanes. Light losses. Again, 2,500. I think this turn is really not so good for Dojo. To say it simply. Okay. Yeah. Then this is the end. Okay, so now we are at 17th February 1942, and yeah, let's check what really happens here after so many battles. We can see that official we destroyed 20 airplanes at the field. I think on the field is now, in this case, the carrier. So the carrier had 20 airplanes, and we lost 18 by flak. Oof. Oi, so what we sunk, we also lost. But I mean, this is, I think, simply, there's no way around. First, we are the Japanese, we have no armor or very small hit points for our airplanes. So we are especially easy to get killed by flak. And the British, on the other hand, have more or less the best flak, I think, in all of the war. I think they're even better than American flag. I mean, especially now. At the beginning, they have simply the best flag. Maybe in 45, the flag of American and the British are similar. And with the operational losses are 13 operational losses. I'm not sure where they come from. Okay, let's check the... we kill some on the field. These are the ops losses. Okay. This is the ops losses. This is the ground losses. So this 669, they are these are British. This is the Sea Hurricane, and this multi-role, I think it's a, I don't know, multi-role fighter bomber or something. And this, I think, is I don't know more exactly what, but this from the carrier airplanes, and this must be from Cebu, maybe. So we can see we lost 6 dive bombers, mostly flak, and some are simply written off. And also the torpedo bombers are all flak kills. And we also lost 5 of our scout jack seaplanes, all by flak. Yeah, I think this is because we operate near Bombay and there was too much flak. And all these scout planes, they don't really have hit points, they have no armor, so they get killed. And this is the older generation, the type bombers, torpedo bombers also 3 dead. Now, okay. And the typical losses in China, scouts and light bombers. Okay. So in total, the Dojo lost 33 and we lost 25. So again, typical kill ratio, I would say. We can see the list of the top pilots or dead pilots. So we lost 18 pilots killed. Ah yeah, no wounded, no missing. So wait, we lost 28 airplanes, and out of 28 airplanes we lost 18 pilots. So 7 airframes more lost than pilots. Ah yeah, okay. So we can also see here, because I think we don't check this for a long time, we have now here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 aces. But from this 6 aces, 3 are inactive in the training school. So we have 3 active aces, 3 active and 3 inactive aces. And so one ace is a Zero fighter, this is the Oscar fighter, and the other one is also a Zero fighter. Okay. Yeah. So we have some aces, but nothing really crazy. So we have many with 3. So we have a many with 3 kills, but then we have a few with a little more. And ship sunk last turn. From the Japanese, nothing. Okay. So the American or allies, not really too many. So official, we only sunk the carrier. And the carrier is so maximum 45 airplanes. 22,000 tons. So it's a medium carrier with 200 points. Yeah. It's not a big carrier, it's not a fleet carrier, but you can say it's a small fleet carrier. It's but you can see the anti-aircraft power, 1,300. The Japanese, even in 45s, they never can reach this power. So this is crazy good anti-aircraft power. But it was simply, even this flak is not enough. If we come with 150 bombers, then it's simply too much. No flag can stop this. So this was after the Hermes. I mean, we maybe sunk also the Hermes. I never get a real. I mean, we get the information that the Hermes sunk, but I not saw it, so I'm not 100% sure. But I think we had at least 2 torpedo hits in the Hermes. So this is the first for sure kill of a carrier, and the Hermes is only a light carrier, a support carrier, and this is a fleet carrier. So that is good. And the battleship is one of this old type First World War battleship with some modification. So you can see they are very slow, but they have heavy armor. The firepower 15-inch standard, I would say. But this is a British, so they had already surface and air radar. And they have good anti-aircraft firepower. But similar to the carrier, anti-aircraft power is simply, if you come with so many airplanes, it's not more possible to kill them fast enough. And the radar also only tell you, okay, they are coming, so you can prepare, but it will not stop them. So this was not bad. So we can say 200, maybe 400. For sure 400 killed points, and maybe we was from the cargo ships and we know that something sunk, so maybe at least maybe in best case maybe 500 points. The Dragon 23 points, 6,000 tons. This is one of these light cruisers. I mean, they are really light. Not only light on firepower, they are also light on weight. And the protection is not great, the speed is not great, Yeah, the whole setup. I think this is late First World War cruisers or 1920. Yeah, and we sunk it. So this is the one Dutch submarine. I think we had 6 hits on it. Maybe. Yeah, but this is one of these short range, low firepower, small torpedo. So this is not really the dangerous long range with 28 torpedo submarines. The Dutch have this coast submarines, and they have this long range open sea ocean going submarines with 22, 28 torpedoes. It's very crazy. Okay, and one of this this cargo should be sunk in near to Perth. Also a British. Okay, so the British really suffer a lot this turn. Cargo 4000. Nothing crazy. It's standard. Okay. Okay. So we can also check the other numbers, so we can see that. No, not this. This is a replacement bull? No, I want. Here. I forgot. So in the all of the war, we killed 882 and we lost 537. So, yeah, you can maybe say we kill 5 to 8. It's still not 1 to 2, but 5 to 8 is, I think, still acceptable. The days before we had already we suffer a lot of our Oscars, so we can still now we can see the P40 is still the number 1 killed. The Buffalo with 100. This is the Flying Tiger 70s. These are also Buffaloes, but Dutch Buffaloes, I think. Then our Zeros are still, and we really lost them 1 kill to killed in the air and destroyed at the ground, or written off. And this is, and then there is the Oscars. So the Oscars and the Zeros, they really share the losses 1 to 1. You can also see 30-30, 33 to 23 compared to this nearly 100 to 20. Then you can see that we really kill much more in the air, and we lost simply much more by landing accidents and written off airplanes. Now you can see the rest. So the Nell bombers, I think this is still from the beginning of the war. And we killed 40 Hurricanes already. Hurricanes are really a little pain on a little painful, but you can see that we killed, luckily we killed 34, I think, on the cargo ship. So this saved me a lot of headache. This is good, but 40 is still not really much. In 3-4 months, I think there are maybe 400 already. I don't know what will happen. I simply must kill them faster than Dojo can get the reinforcements. And this is all this really, I don't care airplanes because they're all outdated. So, and also the Key 48, 21, I don't produce them, I don't want them, I don't care. The torpedo bombers, but it's simply normal that you lose them, because you can see by flak. A lot of my torpedo bombers gets killed by flak. There is no way around. Where's our dive bombers? Here. Yeah, you can also see flak dive bombers. This is there's really, you cannot go around this. Normally the most important is these dive bombers and these torpedo bombers that you don't have killed by air to air, because in the case you lose your strike bombers in air to air, then you have some problem with your escort. But if you lose these planes by flag, I would say you did nothing wrong. And again, and then we can see most is Dojo's smaller special. I don't even know them sometimes. Yeah. We also kill here up to now already 7 B-17. Ops losses 4 and kill 3 air to air. Okay. And there also is a Hurricane 2A drop. Not only the 1B, I think the other one was the 1B, or? I missed it? I think so. Oh. Hurricane, oh no, this is a Hurricane 2B. I don't know more which one. I think the one have still many have 6 machine guns, the other one have 8 machine guns, something. They're crazy. The British, they really have too many machine guns. And there are also some other B-17E, but only ops losses. Okay, this is now all. Tada, the last one. Good. This is all the kills of airplanes so far. And yeah. The situation in China, I think not really much changed to the last time. We had some cleanup operations. So we kick this one, must kick it again. This guy is still in the mountains. We try to catch up, but I don't know if it's really possible. One unit is here trapped, but it's only 4,500, so not really big problem. Here we have roughly 15,000, 10,000, 33,000 maybe. Here we don't have no information, but I think must be around 150,000. And I think this was also only 10,000 maybe. What we can see is that Dojo fled the city, and I think he tried to escape to... He tried to escape, we'll say this. If he really can escape in this mountain area or this desert area, he can try. But this means that I can now move in with my army, because this 16,000 will not stop me. I take Yan'an and then there's no supplies, and then I simply will walk at the road and wait that what happened. If he won't go this way and now wait, maybe in 1 month he can arrive here, but in 1 month I think I am also here. And then we meet us again. And I don't think that he really, I don't know, let Dojo choose this. I mean, this is Dojo's forces, so if he wants to escape in the desert mountain area, then he can try to do this. I think I would now bring up my forces yeah, the problem is really this unit is 150,000 guys. I must get rid of them. I cannot I must find a way to fight them, and if I get rid of them, then I can operate my forces again. If I now if I go now all this way to the north and let this guy stay here, and they take a or block my supply line, yeah, hard to. It's the damn mountain, so everything is very slow. Maybe I must bomb him and bomb so long that I see there's no flag more, and then he have no supplies more. And if he have no supplies, then maybe they simply starving. I will see. Yeah. So we now, I think the rest of the month I will use only to clean up here. And end of February I will prepare my strike here, I think in direction of Wushu and maybe also Quelling and then Nanning, that we can take these 4 cities. I think this is one of the next steps. Have these 4 cities and then driving here north, direction north. Or this is China. And in Thailand, our army arrived, the 25th Army, with a lot of firepower. You can see they are all arrived. So we have 1, 2, 3 divisions, and this is normally also one more. So we have 4 divisions plus additional forces. I don't think the Dojo have something to stop this. We will now prepare, and then simply must take this small road and simply crash everything on the way. My 0 fighters also recover more or less, so that I think maybe next turn I can make the next attempt to break this British fighters. The Flying Tigers was not the problem, but this new Hurricanes, I still don't find a way really to kill them. Or I mean, I can maybe kill them 1-to-1, but if I really want to do this, hard to say. But I must wait at least one more turn to get all my Oscar fighters back ready, that we have the big numbers, and then we really must maybe go with 100 fighters and try to kill them all. But the problem is, even if we kill them, they simply jump out of the airplane, the pilots. And if Dojo have enough backup airplanes, then sooner or later it's a very bloody battle for me. Normally I think I must bring my army forces more nearby. So yeah, I don't know if it really makes a big difference if I now kill all his fighters in the air, or if I simply only walk in and take the base. I mean, I don't know what I win. I mean, of course, I must kill his fighters before I can use bombers, but I can first use the bombers after we break the defense, because he simply have 2 good positions now that I can bomb him with my air force very efficiently. Okay. What else? Singapore is, I think, recovering more, so we can see our shipyard is now already, not completely 50%, but let's go up. And I have only the repair for shipyard and heavy industry, because I simply must save more supplies. There's a supply shortage in Malaya, and I bring some cargo ships here to Bangkok and Singapore to support the situation. Saigon, Bangkok, Singapore, they all need supplies. All this stuff consumes simply more and more supplies. Also, China need more supplies, so I created some more task forces and shipped more supplies to China. This Air Force bombardment consumes supplies a lot. And also a lot of my armies, this only simply the numbers of units I operate in China, they consume so many supplies, and the Chinese industry is still not enough, so I must use Japanese supplies to support this war in China. Also, my Thai forces arrive here at the border. I think now they will walk more or less to Canton and be the garrison for Canton and nothing more, not for fighting, only to be a garrison here. But then I can more or less take here out 1 division and some other forces. Most important is I can take this 16th division, because they are normally operating somewhere else. The other units are all in Manila. So this is the last division of the 16th Army. The 16th Army is Malaya. And normally the 16th Army has the job to go to Java and take Java. So maybe next turn or next turn I also can prepare to ship the 16th and maybe also the 14th Army. I don't know more. The 14th Army have 1 division, 2, 3, like 4 divisions. And this 16th Army have 1, 2, maybe 3 divisions. maybe I can ship both armies to Java, and then one army will go to the east and one army go to the west, and then we can even more quickly take Java. Java you still need. First take Java, and then you must take all these other small islands and this stuff, but this is normally not really important. But we need Timor, because from here we can install normally a okay airbase, and then we can also close all shipping on this side. So you have the airbase here, and if you have the airbase in Port Moresby, and then normally all this sea is dead, because we can close here the sea and we can close here the sea, and then there's simply no shipping more possible. It was only the question if this is a problem for Dojo, because why you won't ship here anything? So I mean, you can close the street here, you can close the street here, and then I don't really think that really have an impact for Dojo. But if I take Port Moresby and we have Timor and we have an airbase here and an airbase here, then we can simply say then it's no problem more to start an invasion of Darwin without any problems, because if here's no way for him to enter and here's no way to enter, and here's also no railway, so he cannot support Darwin. Means Darwin is lost. So all these bases, it would say this area, you can normally take them easily. I don't know if you want to go in this desert area. I simply would say that this is too... First, there is nothing what you want in this shitty desert. There's no points, there's no minerals, there's nothing really you need. You can take this basis only for fun. Maybe Darwin is okay. 90 points. A little resources, nothing crazy. Maybe most important is here 101 resources, okay. But all of this stuff is normally not crazy important for me. So normally Darwin, and then we will see for more. There's still the option go for Perth, or there's an option go for Townsville and this area north of Brisbane. No, we will see, we will see. What else happened here is finally we have oil, and the tankers are still pumping more oil in the port, so I can create this turn two, or let's say one battle fleet and maybe one or two cruiser fleets. Then we can create the first carrier fleet, and we can create the invasion fleet. So I think this all together, so we will have a carrier fleet more or less in this position to cover this whole area, and a battleship fleet to make some shore bombardment to prepare the invasion, one or two cruiser fleets to cover the area, to interdict anything what comes close, and then at the same time more or less the invasion fleet. So I would say in latest 2 turns we will see the invasion of Port Moresby. Anything else? Normally, not really. Not really. We have still our submarines here, and we have submarines here, and we have, oops, where's Hawaii? Was it? Oh, here. We have also a line of submarines here, but not really successful. Sometimes we can hit something, most of the time we see something, but we cannot strike it. So I bring only some base force to Wake Island, and then later I will maybe install here some scout planes to scout here a little. The same we must do with Marcus Island, so also have here some scouts, only to have scouts to cover the area, to find something early enough. But there's still this big ocean very empty, so if he won't come to Japan he can come, but the question is for what? It's for him super dangerous. I have still long range scout planes, and he risks a lot if he comes close to Japan. Yeah. Yeah, and also the other invasion, so the 25th Army go for Burma, and the 15th Army, it's not so much, but only, let's say, like 2 divisions and a little support stuff. The 15th Division will normally, they were still waiting for this Navy Guard unit, because this unit has the order to take Osthaven. But there's still little damage, so I maybe wait 1 more turn. And then I normally use, and I have here a lot of cruisers left, so I can prepare 1 or 2 short or bombardment fleets. And then normally we will take Osthaven, because there's not much resistance. Our Navy force normally can take it. Then I will land the 15th? Yeah, the 15th Army here. And then we walk up the way. Because here are a lot of mines. And I don't want to risk to lose ships. I mean, we lost only 1 ship in Balikpapan, but I simply don't want to go directly for Balikpapan, so I go for Osthaven first, and then I walk up, and then we clean up this area. And at the same time, our Navy Guard units can clean up the north. And so I hope maybe, I don't know if it's possible to take Balikpapan up to end of the month. This would be nice, but I would say up to 15th of March, take all Java and take all of Sumatra. It's possible. And so we have then the second part of March maybe to prepare for attack on Darwin, and under best, if the situation is really lucky, then maybe also go for Perth. Tja. And end or mid of March, I also hope normally to take Burma and break all this British resistance. We will see if this plays well out. If this is also finished to mid of March, then normally the army is free for 3 options. Go for China, but I would normally not go for China. It's simply too slow for no benefit. Or you can normally go for Calcutta, or you can try this coastline. But I simply maybe will go directly for Ceylon. If we can take Ceylon, I mean, if we won't take Ceylon, we must take it before end of April, I would say. After April, every month is more dangerous or more hard to take Ceylon. But if we can take Ceylon before end of March, this is a nice base. If we have Ceylon, then we can always normally make an easy strike for Bombay. And also maybe for Karachi. We will see. This is the future. Things can happen. Things can getting ugly and painful. Also a little clean up here. Normally, also end of February, I hope to clean up here a little stuff. You can see I moved some forces here, but normally they're only support units. No real fighting forces. Very low power. I really concentrate the power for the important stuffs. Here in the north of Manila, this Battle of Singapore, and now the next is the Balikpapan and the Java operation. And the Navy Guard units taking care of all of this small stuff. Good. So, anything more here to say? I think the military situation not really changed too much. We can, I can show maybe the situation of, so heavy industry, because some people like to see this, but it's still some Shanghai, Mukden, Keijo, Hong Kong, Saigon and Harbin. So normally all mainland China and mainland Asia, I upgrade still some heavy industry, but not crazy much. Yeah, the refinery we have normally. Miri is still under construction, needs a little more time, but all others looks fine. And oil is similar, but we still need Balikpapan for the really big oil field. The engine production is slowing down. I will not invest much in engine production. I think this is We're coming close. We're over 400 already with the H35. And the rest is still very slowly increasing only. But maybe we get soon the second month for the H60 engine. Never wrong, never bad. The H45 is, I think, I don't know, I think maybe already 1 day. Well, I think we got already 1 month shortened. I don't know more. Maybe, I think so. And my aircraft production, you can see, is very basic, small. I don't really produce too many airplanes now because I don't lost much. And so zeros is maybe the biggest production so far with 60. But I think I also will maybe stop the production for maybe 1 week or 2 weeks and see if I come under 50 in pool. I maybe restart the production, but I don't have a. I don't think it's necessary to have over 80 or 90 machines in pool. Make no sense. It's only waste of resources. The Oscars I normally need more, but I don't want to produce so many of this 1C Oscars. I will normally wait for the upgrade, but this needs some months still. Jack I always need. Just this turn we lost 5 of them and I cannot produce so many. I also don't want to invest too much, but we can produce now roughly 2 Jake per day. Today we lost 5 in this turn, so it's just enough to handle the losses. And the dive bombers, you don't need crazy many of these dive bombers, but you need some. And so it's similar to the torpedo bomber. I don't want to invest too heavy in this stuff because they are normally, the dive bombers simply have not enough punching power to be really important for me. And the torpedo bombers, they are okay, but I don't really lose many of them. Most of my torpedo bombers go to training school. I think 80% of my airplanes I produce, they all go for training, not really for fighting. So the AMD situation is, let's better do this for type. You can see the most of the A&D stuff is still under repair, so there's not really a A&D really working. I have one factory producing the A6M5C. This is for me the end of the Zero, the last edition. But I still think you can see this is still for end of 44. So maybe beginning of 44 I can introduce this airplane for my army. So far away. This is at the end the best carrier-based fighter you can ever get, and we will see what time I can get them. This is the next generation of the torpedo bomber I'm waiting for. I hope to get them maybe at the beginning of 43. Let's hope. This is a endgame dive bomber. If we can get them at the beginning of 44, we are lucky. Some scout planes. This is a better dive bomber. This we need really early. I still hope we can get this maybe in October 42. Because this dive bomber really can carry the 500 kilogram bomb. And the 500 kilogram bomb is really a game changer for the Japanese. You can really hurt everything with this bomb. HK1 we also need, but now we need the HK2. But if you have the HK1, then it's not more so complicated to get the HK2. And if we have, hopefully we can get it soon. This is the Night Fighters. And this is normally the Oscar 2A, but normally the Oscar 2B is a more important airplane. So we have, I invested a lot in this Oscar 2B. Hopefully we can get end of 42 this airplane. I mean maybe in October, or I hope October. Before we get the Dojo. Here are some other scout airplanes. The Helen, I think the Helen will come first. The Helen is really an important Navy, Army bomber, and we will produce a lot of Helen. Normally I will switch all the Army stuff to Helen. And everything what is not Helen will then simply be a training airplane. Yeah, this is all endgame stuff. I'm not so sure if we get this really to see if Dojo lose the game in beginning of 43. We will maybe not see this stuff, but maybe Dojo will not lose the game at beginning of 43, and then we will see some more action. Okay, I think we can also check maybe shortly the ships coming now. Oops. So in 5 days we get the next small fleet carrier, medium carrier, similar to what we just sunk from the British. Also the points are very similar, but the carrier is a little slow, but they have more capacity, so it's okay. But you can see the flag power is only a third of what the British had, more or less. But it's a carrier, and the carrier we can use and we need. And in 45 days we get a support carrier. Standard support carrier. Slow, but the capacity of airplanes are not bad. Naja. In the west you can see submarines. The most important is that we get some destroyers. Nothing crazy. Nothing really crazy. In mid of 42 we get the second carrier. And if we have this carrier and the Escort carrier and we lose no carrier at that time so far, then maybe it's time to split up the carriers and make 3 carrier strike forces. Then I can maybe operate 1 carrier fleet in Indian Ocean, 1 carrier fleet in the area of Perth, and 1 carrier fleet in the area of Rabul. But we will see. This is still some months ago. Too far away. But I think this carrier is more or less one of the last big stuff we can get in 42, because after this we only get smaller stuff. Yeah, we get then the Yamato is still on hold because I wanted with the other battleship together, Mishuni. Yeah. Musashi is here, but so we try to get it for the end of December. And then we have these 2 big battleships, and I don't know if we can get an engagement of our battleships and Dojo's battleships, and then would be interesting. I really don't know how they can really fight enemy battleships. I mean, if we fight 1-to-1, then of course the Yamato battleships will win, but if maybe Dojo have 4 or 6 battleships and we have only 2 Yamato battleships, this will be interesting. Of course I still try to sink any battleships with the torpedo bombers. I mean, why not? It works. Okay, this is now the situation here. More I think I cannot tell you because there's not more to do. So a lot of logistics in background, shipping fuel, shipping supplies, bring ships back to port, upgrade ships, convert ships, all this stuff. I can only simply say that I have a lot of destroyers in the shipyard for upgrading, and this really limited my striking force temporarily. Yeah, more all upgrading in shipyard, but this near Bo's finish, so I get some destroyers back. So maybe 1 or 2 weeks I can create 1 or 2 more cruiser or battleship formations, and then we have a little more punching power again. But if one destroyer is finished with upgrade, then normally the next destroyer can be updated. So you will always have maybe 20% of your ships in the port for upgrade and maintenance. I think this is simply normal. Okay, we can check shortly the tracker. What happened? We can maybe check the industry situation. Coming? Yeah, coming. Okay, these are the data for production, so we can see that heavy industry points we still ramping up, and we store more industry points for the bad days if we're Dojo striking back. And the manpower is similar. I don't think that we really ever. I mean, you better have backup. Why not? It's cost you nothing. So if something gets really worse, then we can ask more and more guys to join the army. The armament production is similar, like manpower. If you don't lose a lot of manpower, you also don't lose a lot of armament. Guns, handguns, rifles, all this small equipment stuff. And the vehicles, you can see the red line is simply because of the Japanese light tanks. You simply lose a lot of Japanese tanks easily, and they still... I think this is what we really always have. I mean, we are not really go to zero. Here we was maybe at zero, but most of the time we cannot really create a backup. What we produce, we consume. But I also don't invest anything in this vehicle production so far. So far, I don't see a must to increase the production. The blue one is a merchant shipyard, and you can see that we have now more and more points, but I increased some stuff from escort carrier. I push now to produce faster, and the navy production is balanced. Nothing too big stuff. And this is the resources, and you can see that the resources we have normally no issue. We conquer enough bases, they producing enough resources, so this is okay. And the fuel getting less, but we still have at least 3.5 million tons in backup. And the crude oil are getting less, but it's similar to the fuel. I mean, not the big issue. The issue is really only the supplies. Our very active air operation in China, and a lot of investment, and we upgrading a lot, every ship what is possible, and this it's cost supplies, and we start with 3.3 million, and now we are down to maybe 1.8. So I think we close. I mean, I don't know if the line gets better, but sooner or later we must do something. If we come to 1 million, if we come to the last 1 million, then I must think about what I can do to slow down the consumption of supplies. But so far, now I must still strike. I cannot worry about the supply issue now. I still have time. I must strike now. Okay. Resources. It's okay. And this is a chart. So we can still see that we have a surplus of... So resources, no issue. And... the fuel production is also normally not the issue, it's more still the crude oil. We don't get enough crude oil. No. Manpower is no issue. And the biggest problem is normally the supplies, but We have still some light industry to repair, and we have still also some heavy industry to repair. So we will increase our supply output, but yeah, it's not so much we can really change here. What else? Maybe we can check the victory points. So we can see we start with a 8-1, and now we are on our side 2-1 nearly. Okay, you can check here all this information if you want. You can see here is the base, the value of bases we're holding. We start with 1,400 and now we are at 4,000 already. And the allies base points, they're starting with 11,500 and now they are nearly to 7,000. So Singapore and other stuff we conquer. So, and you can see also the other stuff. All points. Maybe air losses, but I think we saw this already. Maybe ship losses, allied ship losses, and check by points. What? Okay. This is, I mean, based on the information the Japanese have. This is of course fog of war, so not true, but so far the game tell me this is what I sunk. And then we can see here's the Hermes and the other carrier. So we can see the points, the most value ships. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 bigger ships with value, with real value. The heavy cruiser is already with 40 points, not more so critical. So this are the big ships we sunk, and how we sunk them, and where we sunk them, and what date. And then we can see normally that we sunk much more British than American heavy equipment. Okay. And I think here's not so much change. This is all this cargo ship. We can see a lot of the cargo ships we sunk much more American, I think, but also a lot of Dutch, British, Philippines, Australian. Oh yeah, and a lot of 1-point ships. Very many 1 and 2 and 3-point ships. Okay, charge. Yeah, maybe this. So this is where we start the victory points, and then we closing. When here we take over in turn 44, we cross even, and then we skyrocket, and the allies, they simply not more changing much. Okay, victory points and sunk losses, sunk ships. Yeah, this is weird before. So in the last turn we make a lot of we sunk a lot of points. I mean, of course, the number of ships are not crazy increasing. You can see we sunk a little more, but the points, value points, are increasing. 1 carrier and 1 battleship, of course, are a lot of points. And our line is very small, I would say. Air losses, yeah. Most important is the blue line is the allies and the red line is our airline. So if the blue line is higher than the red line, this means every turn simply Dojo lose more airplanes than the Japanese. And you can see that the red line was only in this turn we have only 1, maybe here's the second turn. Ooh. This was a really only day this was maybe the Black Friday or whatever day it was. I don't know what day it was. This was the day we really suffer. Our Air Force simply had a bad day. The only day we really had a bad day, I would say. Okay, anything else? I don't know what you can find out of this really important. I don't think so. Summary. This is not really interesting. Aircraft production, nothing really happens there. Ship upgrades. Even the Japanese Navy. Now this is normally all special stuff. You can check this tracker and then you can see how you can upgrade a ship and what values it have and what time you can upgrade this unit. Like this is February of 42. I also produce this kind of ships now, or I convert them. Later you can upgrade them again, and then you can see that they get some radar, and this is a big issue, and better depth charters. Yeah, like this. You can check this all here, but this is nothing to show on YouTube because it's this is very core information and too special, I would say. So we can stop this now, and I hope you had some fun, and let's see how Dojo will react to this last defeat he suffered, and if he can turn around and still maybe win this game. See you all, take care, bye bye.